The ear is divided into three parts: the outer ear, the middle ear, and the inner ear. We'll study it part by part. Let us begin with the outer ear. The outer ear consists of this structure. This structure have grooves on it. This is the pinna. Why it have these grooves? Because it is to trap the sound waves. And it continues. It continues as the auditory canal. This is the auditory canal. And here is the eardrum. So the outer ear has three parts. The outer projecting part is known as pinna, and the canal, this canal is known as the auditory canal, and it continues to form a eardrum. This drum vibrates. So let us begin with the middle ear. The middle ear we have three parts: malleus, incus, stapes, or hammer, anvil, stirrup. These three together are also known as ear ossicles. Here is the hammer-like structure, which is connected to the eardrum. Hammer, this is the hammer, and another same structure, hammer, anvil. This is known as anvil, and this is the stirrup, which is like a horseshoe. Malleus, incus, stapes, or hammer, anvil, stirrup. These three are all together known as ear ossicles. Now from this eardrum, from this same space, another canal arises which connects the ear to the mouth. Suppose here is the mouth. It connects the mouth cavity, inside mouth cavity, with the ear. I will explain it later what is the function of it. This is known as the eustachian tube. This is hammer, anvil, stirrup. So the middle ear consists of malleus, incus, stapes, eustachian tube, and two windows. One is known as the round window and one is known as the oval window. This malleus, incus, stapes. So this stapes is connected to the oval window, oval shaped window, and down it we have a round window. This is the oval window, this is the round window. So from here to here is the outer ear, and from after the eardrum to the stapes and the eustachian tube, this is the middle ear. So let us now begin with the inner ear. The inner ear consists of this cochlea. Cochlea is a spiral shaped snail like structure. So if it has 2.5 winds. If we just open it up and make it a straight canal, we have just opened the windings and cut it in half. We have to cut it in half and see the cross section. So here is a cross section. Here we would have three canals: upper, middle, and the lower. These two canals have perilymph, and this middle layer contains endolymph. Now let me explain only the middle, because we have in the syllabus only the middle canal. These two canals, just know that these two canals contain perilymph. Now suppose if I take the middle canal and try to show it here. In the middle canal, I'm just drawing it here. This is the middle canal which contains the endolymph. Now on the base on the base of this canal. It is known as median canal, okay, or cochlear canal. On the base or on the floor, it contains hair-like structures. These hair-like structures are known as organ of Corti. And this floor, this base, the base or the floor of the median or cochlear canal is known as basilar membrane. So these three terms we must remember, that in cochlea there is a middle canal known as endolimb, and this endolimb contains organ of Corti, hair-like structures such as organ of Corti. The endolimb, the median canal contains sensory hair-like structures known as organ of Corti. It also contains endolimb and the basilar membrane. So if it is often asked, what is the location of the organ of Corti? So organ of Corti lies in the cochlea, in the median canal or cochlear canal. It lies on the basilar membrane. So that would be the perfect answer for this. Organ of Corti lies on the basilar membrane. So in the inner ear we have two more structures. The semicircular canal. Two in the upward direction and one in the horizontal direction. And from this arises a stem which is connected to the cochlea. These structures, that is 1, 2, 1, 2 and 3. These three structures are known as semicircular canal. And this stem is known as vestibule. It actually has utriculus and saculus. This semicircular canal is responsible for dynamic equilibrium, and this vestibule is responsible for, that is utriculus and saculus, collectively known as vestibule. These three are collectively known as ear ossicles, and the utriculus and saculus are known as collectively known as vestibule. These are responsible for static equilibrium. Now let us come to the function of the eustachian tube. So the eustachian tube equalizes the air pressure inside and out. It equalizes the air in the mouth with the air in the outer atmosphere. In the auditory canal we also have air, and in the eustachian tube which is connected to the mouth also has air. So in both the cases we have air. So this eustachian tube is used to balance the air pressure both inside and out. It is used to equalize the air pressure. Suppose we went to the mountain, or we are traveling by aeroplane. At such a height the atmospheric pressure is low. So the air inside the eustachian tube which is from the ground. Suppose before taking a flight we are on the ground, so the air in our eustachian tube is of the ground, which has a high atmospheric pressure. But when we travel through an aeroplane and reach a certain height, the atmospheric pressure there is low, but the air inside our mouth is the air on the ground, which has a high atmospheric pressure. So the air which is from the ground will exert atmospheric pressure from the inside, and the eardrum may rupture. So that is why in flights water is given, so that we drink water, and the air pressure in the eustachian tube and the outside equalizes, so that the eardrum does not rupture. There are chances of the rupturing of the eardrum. Now why we have to drink water? Because this eustachian tube, suppose if we open our mouth, the air pressure does not equalizes. To equalize the air pressure, the eustachian tube has also to open. So this eustachian tube only opens when we are yawning or when we drink water. So that is why it is given, water are given in the airports. And it also allows the eardrum to vibrate freely. Suppose if a lot of pressure is applied either from inside or from the outside, then the eardrum won't be able to vibrate properly. Suppose if the air is exerting pressure on the inside, the eardrum will bend towards the left. so that it will not be allowed to move freely. That is why eustachian tube is important. And another function of this semicircular canal and the vestibule is that they help in balance. Apart from hearing, they also help in balance. Sometimes when we ride a roller coaster or anything like that, we feel very dizzy. Or we lose our balance. The reason is that when we come down from a roller coaster, though our body is at rest, but the liquid in our not cochlear canal, in the semicircular canal and the vestibule, the liquid is still in motion. The liquid still is moving. That is why it sends a signal to the brain that our body is still in motion, but your eyes are seeing that your body is at rest. So it is a confusion between the eyes and the ear. Eyes is telling to the brain that the body is stationary, but the ear is telling that our body is still moving. That is why we sometimes lose balance or become very dizzy. Dynamic equilibrium means suppose our whole body is moving. Suppose we are traveling by a car. No, this is also called motion sickness. Okay, we travel by the car. That is when our whole body moves. That is a dynamic equilibrium. And static equilibrium. Suppose we are sitting in one position and only moving our head. That is known as static equilibrium. Now, sometimes we have often observed that while traveling by a car, some people vomit. Why is it happens? Why it happens? This is because when we travel by a car, the liquid in the semicircular canal and the vestibule moves, but our eye sees that our body is sitting in one place. So eyes is seeing that you are sitting in a seat, on a seat, but your ear senses that your body is in motion. That is why the liquid is moving in your ears. So it confuses the brain that whether the body is moving or whether the body is sitting. So this confusion sends an alert signal to the brain, and the brain thinks that there is some kind of danger. That is why he is having such unusual feeling. So it results in vomiting. So just to get rid of the food in your stomach. Why the body vomits? Because it vomits so that it becomes more energetic. Suppose if a person with a full stomach is lazy, but a person with an empty stomach is more alert and more agile. If the brain empties the stomach, then it can easily run away from the danger. It reduces the body weight. That is why the body vomits, so that it can easily run away from the danger when it sees it. Now, how do we hear it? Suppose sound is produced. Here, sound is produced. So the sound will travel. Sound waves will travel, and the groove-like structure of the pinna will help trapping the sound waves. The sound waves will get trapped, and the sound waves will travel to the auditory canal, and it will hit the eardrum. As a result, the eardrum will start to vibrate, and the eardrum will further make the hammer vibrate. The hammer will further make the anvil vibrate, and the anvil will further make the stirrup vibrate. So these ear ossicles makes the sound louder by a lever like action. It amplifies the sound. The sound produced is actually very feeble, but the lever like action of the hammer, anvil and stirrup amplifies the sound. It increases the loudness so that we can hear it clearly. But actually the sound is very feeble that is produced around us, but these three actually amplifies it. So eardrum is vibrating, hammer is vibrating, anvil is vibrating, and stirrup is vibrating. As a result, the stirrup through the oval window also hits the cochlea. It is vibrating to and fro, so it hits the cochlea. As a result, the cochlea also moves. So when the cochlea moves, the median canal where there is endolymph, the endolymph, the liquid here is known as endolymph. So the endolymph also starts moving. As a result, the hair-like structure known as organ of Corti also starts moving, and it creates a sensation of